Just electro, is that just a normally muscle stimulator?
Yeah, because this reflex is stronger than that in your body, my hands are curling and muscle loss through here.
Yeah.
It causes quite a reasonable amount of pain and discomfort. And this sends electrical message to the brain going, everything's fine. So the brain works on the pain receptors in your brain to stop it going, but there's something wrong, there's something wrong.
Yeah.
And so it eases the pain. And I'm hoping it eases it helps with the flexibility bit as well. Because I can't make circles anymore. Put your fingers together.
Yeah.
So I'm losing I've lost the
that muscle
opposing
control.
thumb. It's the opposing thumb. Doesn't work anymore. See, this one's worse.
Yeah, it doesn't want to bend around that way.
It can't. Because you lose all the muscles that make your hands dexterous.
Yeah.
And obviously the strength, but yeah, so my hands are, they're doing that. That's as straight as I can go. Which means all sorts of things. Those small daily things.
Yeah. Yeah, like grabbing things or...
Picking things up, blowing your nose, wiping your bum. All those really nice things.
Yeah, all those things you take.
Well, you take for granted, that's the thing.
So, Linda, winter moon, we just had winter moon 2022, possibly the last winter moon by the looks of it. Maybe. And you've been volunteering for winter moon for a while. What's your experience?
Oh, it's great fun. I love the whole idea of people being able to have the freedom to get together, collaborate and see what happens. And winter moons provides that with bags, So the first year, I think, I volunteered with Annika at the Lantern Parade.
Oh, the headquarters, yeah. Build the lanterns and...
Well, you get the good jobs, like cutting all the pieces of cane to the right size and, lots of wrapping with wine, stripping bamboo and learning how to paper and all that. And the kids' workshops, getting the kids in and making lamps with mums and dads and then getting ready and putting all the lamps around various places. Because I think, well, for me, the festival atmosphere is really enhanced and made magical by art installations. And in that atmosphere where you're actually giving people a feast for their eyes to get them, ooh, this is somewhere different. We're in a special place. And meeting everyone there and learning, where things go or how things work and who knows what, the usual winter sort of thing. Have you seen, I'm looking for, that sort of thing's great. So I did that for 2 years, I think. Pretty full on, I don't know how Annika did it for so long. It's a big commitment, a lot of work. And just to see the parade at the end, there were little kids.
The parade was a beautiful thing, and getting everyone involved was
pretty amazing.
Wasn't it? How many years did you do that for?
I think it was, actively probably 8 to maybe 8, 9 years, 8 years, something like that. So it was the highlight of our year, really. Pilgrimage to winter moon. And the relationships that have been built over the time are just really hard. Especially the women. The women of winter moon are just... I've met some amazing people and made connections that I wouldn't have ordinarily made.
So how did you find out about Winter Moon? What was?
Well, we're from the sunny coast, so a few of the sunny coast musicians, Kelly's and also Dave Flower, Sean the Magician. So they always told us about it. We always wanted to go. I think we first came about 2008, 2009. It's just that they take a bunch of people getting together, supporting each other and wanting to put on fantastic music and a wonderful experience. And then help the community grow by showing young children and older people, everyone, this is how it can be.
Community, yeah.
Community, this is what it's about.
True.
Yeah.
So in recent years you've come across a few challenges though with coming to Winter Moon.
One or
two, yeah. Can you tell us a little bit about what that challenge is and how you sort of found out about it?
Well, you know, I was always full on going here, going there, riding my bike, swimming every day, walking on the beach, doing pottery, and getting involved with community organisations in that way. Always a workaholic, go there, always in a hurry. And I noticed walking on the beach, there was a weird sound. I think, what's that sound? I realised it was a slapping of my left foot on the wet sand. Wow. I went, that's a bit odd. Didn't think anything of it, you know, you'll be fine. And I volunteered at the Caloundra Music Festival. That would be in 2019. And I had to put shoes on. I don't generally wear shoes, thongs, yeah, but shoes not so much. And I was just noticed actually in 2019 at Winter Moon, I was really tired after volunteering, like way more than I always have been. And I thought, oh well, it's just one of those things. But when I volunteered at the Caloundra Music Festival, I was having trouble wearing the shoes and moving my left foot properly. I tripped over a few times, thought my foot was okay, but you know, lost my balance and I was so tired. I worked on the various gates and what they call patron services, so the bike hire and all that. And I couldn't stand up, but I'd be always stand for all day, all night.
Yeah, so
I said, well, that's a bit odd. And then I noticed that I couldn't lift my heel, you know, independently, like on tippy toes. So I thought, oh, that's a bit odd. Didn't think anything of it. And I went to my doctor for something unrelated. And I just said, oh, by the way, I can't seem to do this. I can't seem to lift my foot up. And she just freaked at me. She said, oh my God, you have to go and get a brain scan immediately. And this was like Christmas 2019. I'm going, what are you talking about? She says, you might have a brain tumour and all this sort of shit. It's like, what? Anyway, after lots of tests and scans and stuff, and it was really only my left foot, everything else.
Yeah.
Well, my left hand, because I played guitar and I had been having trouble for a year, not being able to make bar chords, but I have arthritis in my hand, so I just thought, oh well.
So arthritis, playing up a bit.
Yeah, whatever.
Maybe drinking too many wines or something.
Yeah, all that.
Yeah.
It'll be fine. So anyway, I ended up at a neurosurgeon, but there wasn't anything nerve-wise, excuse me, that was blocking it. They couldn't see anything physical that was blocking
the signal. Yeah.
And I had my fair amount of injuries over my life, you know, falling, you know, anyway, skiing things and all sorts of stuff. I've always had back trouble, but nothing was impeding. So then I went to a neurologist, and they do what's called muscle testing. So basically they stick needles in you and turn the dials on. to see what happens. Not pleasant, don't recommend it. And the first diagnosis was basically a description of the symptoms, which they call peripheral neuropathy. Just means something's not working.
Okay.
But it was only a foot drop, and there was success with having immunoglobulin therapy, which is a blood plasmary thing.
Replacement therapy.
Yeah. So I did that for about 3 months.
And that actually helped?
No.
Oh, no.
That's the unfortunate part.
Yeah.
Sometimes it does, like about 80% of cases it works, but you have to have the therapy ongoing. It's, yeah. So it's a bit like the cancer treatments they're having now. Everything's fine, you can keep going. So that didn't work, so I went back and I had another muscle test, and I knew things weren't going so well because at a friend's daughter's birthday party, I was having trouble standing for any length of time. I was having trouble standing up thinking, it's not just here.
Yeah, right.
So, and she agreed, the neurologist, and then said her best guess was motor neuron disease. You can imagine how that went. I burst into tears because that is the worst thing I could ever imagine.
So that was, right, and you were thinking, no, hopefully it's not that.
No, it's not. I'm not having that shit.
So they kept testing and...
No, because all you do is get a second opinion. There's no one test for motor neuron. They just keep saying it's not that, it's not that, it's not that. That's what it is. It presents differently in different people. Some people it affects their chest.
Yeah.
So it's basically everything that you do voluntarily, walk, pick things up, breathe, all of those muscles, the motor neurons either die, the electric current's not strong enough, so they atrophy, your muscles atrophy.
Yeah.
So the signal that when you think I'm going to walk across the room, get that cup, whatever that connection is not happening. So you basically become paralysed.
Slowly.
Well, some people faster than others.
Yeah.
So after that diagnosis, the health system was fantastic. I mean, awesome. When you really, really cook, they're there.
Yeah.
Even though I didn't think I was cooked.
Denial for...
Well, yeah.
Denial.
Wouldn't you?
Yeah,
no.
I wouldn't want to know. Yeah, I wouldn't want to believe
that.
it. For sure.
Yeah, so the social health network was really good. So I had, a physiotherapist show up. I was referred to the MND clinic that runs out of Skew, which is the Sunshine Coast University Hospital. There's all kinds of speech therapy people, basically all give me the same message. We're really sorry, but you're fucked.
You got MND?
Yeah. No cure. I mean, there's research going on. And of course, Neil Danaher in Australia, he's a ex-footy, I don't know.
The beanie.
Yeah, the beanie guy.
The beanie guy, yes.
He has this, he's got MND.
Because being such a high profile...
Such a high profile. He's raised, brothers tell me, $50 million. $50 million.
That's amazing.
Dollars for research.
That's incredible.
In probably the last, 7 years? Something like that.
Wow.
So
8 years it's been going.
8 years. So they're throwing heaps of money at it. But they think it's somehow related, it's the same sort of family as Parkinson's and even Alzheimer's. And and maybe even parts within it. So there's a malfunction. Something's
with the signal pathway from the brain.
Yeah, well, it could be the mitochondria don't go bing anymore. They just go blue.
Yeah, they're not firing or...
Yeah, it could be the synapses.
Connections.
It could be a combination of all of those things. So that's kind of the basis of it. And the social health department were really fantastic. Put me on to the MND clinic, and they also put me on to another government agency that helped me apply for the NDIS. And they were amazing. Everyone was just great. You know, like, great, you're fucked.
Yeah,
great.
We'll help you.
Yeah, we'll help you, yeah. Yeah, so, and the interesting thing I didn't know, if you're over 65, if something like this happens in this country, you don't get an NDIS. Then move to the aged care umbrella. And we know what people, or what the governments in this country think about funding aged care.
Yeah.
Not our problem, go away. So that was a bit shocking, because this is generally a later life thing, a bit like Parkinson's or whatever. It's not very often you get it when you're younger, although there is a gene profile. I have what they call sporadic. I have no history in my family.
Yes.
It's just happened, maybe not sporadic, but something like that, where there are people, I just feel for their families, where they actually have a gene issue.
And you have a high chance of developing...
Very high chance.
Wow. Gee, yes.
So can you imagine having...
that hanging on the back of your mind.
Everybody, and seeing at least one person in each generation.
Actually develop it.
My heart goes out to them. Or anyone.
Every time you got something, you'd think it was that. You know, every time.
And because it's a nervous system. It's a nervous system issue.
Yeah.
Imagine the amount of stress that would put you under. And you know, it's like when people are stressed, you can't relax in here now. So that could be.
Yeah.
Which for your nervous system is like terrible thing. Yeah.
What's your treatment protocol been?
My treatment protocol.
Yeah. What's your approach to?
It's been meditation, music, writing, journaling, psychology, going to see someone on a professional basis, incredible support from friends and family. That is just... but I got curious, because I'm a curious person. I need to know why, how, where. So I was doing a lot of reading about spontaneous reversal of things like cancer and whatever by using meditation techniques. And in the process of that, I understood that although my thinking part of my brain was logical and clean and yep, got that, move on, got that, the emotional part, I never, as I've discovered, felt safe or learned to feel whole in my emotional place or response. And on more reading, it's a classic, and I've had, in my life I've had depression, I've been an alcoholic and then backed off and then gone in, backed off. I've run away if situations get too much. So my life's always been like this in terms of my health as well as emotions, genuinely being emotional, got myself in situations, and I've woken up going, how the hell did this happen?
Yeah, how it just progresses slowly into that reality without you really consciously.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Lights on, no one home.
Yeah.
And then you realise, I realised by doing this work is that I'd set up this outer shell that I wasn't connected to at all. I did not even know it was there. I mean, I thought I knew, but what had happened is I just constructed
distance yourself.
something a little bit closer. And I read an account of a footballer who had been sexually abused by one of the coach dudes. And the words that he was saying about early trauma
really rang true for you. You really connected with it?
It got me on the path of understanding how far out my limbic system, which is our old brain, fight,
flight response.
Yep, and our executive function, over the top of the brain, the frontal cortex.
Yep.
They weren't talking to each other in a beneficial way. So the limbic system was fired up. Danger, danger.
Constantly excited.
Constantly. Whereas the meditation and the self-inquiry made me understand that I could actually learn to calm this down. Go, it's all right. We're safe. Everything's okay.
Yeah, stop fighting, stop resisting something.
Yeah, but with resistance, to me it's not even fight, it's, you know, when you walk into a room and you have a group of people and you instantly connect with them, their eyes, everyone's, this is going to be great. Now, you know what it's like when you walk into a room where you feel that, some shonky's going down.
And you get that,
You get that close-in,
response.
isolated, and that's a really important thing. You're alone, you feel alone, you can't connect. And my nervous system was wound so tight all the time, I had no true understanding of how I was perceiving the world through this. Every room was shonky, everything, everywhere, all the time.
Yeah.
Including in here. Nowhere.
Yeah. Did you feel emotionally safe?
I didn't feel anything because I pushed it down.
Repressed it that
Cover
much.
with alcohol, like we do. Repress. But it's under here going like this.
So it's overexcited.
For 60 years.
Yes.
Going like this.
And you feel
I feel like I burned the wiring out.
Ah.
That's what I feel like. My heart's going, my brain's working. My lungs having a bit of trouble, and that's the other thing, it's a constant loss. You get used to one thing, I could get used to not being able to walk. But then you lose the strength in your arm, and then
it's a constant battle of
it's not battle, it's not a battle. It's
a constant
it's
letting go of.
Yeah. It's a letting go of everything you always thought and clung on to, believing it to be, that was your strength. And then it's a huge lesson in, well, we're all going to die, but I feel like sometimes it's like a razor's edge. Some days I'm like, for heaven's sake, can you just get it over with? I'm over this.
Mm.
Because it just doesn't happen to me. It happens. I don't know if you've had anyone in your life with cancer. We all have been touched by in some way. It's like a bomb goes off.
Yeah.
The repercussions of one person being so ill, and especially in my sister-in-law's case, it was it's just the heart. It's just the heart of the family.
Mm. Yeah. So you feel that was the fundamental cause of the development of you've motor neuron disease, is that constant sort of emotional response to your environment over
And to
time?
myself,
And
yeah,
yourself.
I do. I think that emotional competence, I think they call it, it's the ability to have your emotions, to be able to respond internally and go, yeah, I understand why it's okay,
Yeah,
and move on.
And let it go and not hold that.
Well, it wasn't even, it's not about holding it, it's about not understanding there's another way. Thinking that was the reality, and that there was something innately wrong with me.
Mm.
So it's around self-worth,
Yeah.
it's around safety, it's around that belief that I'm whole and okay, and I can maintain this no matter what else is happening.
Yeah.
And sure, you might have spikes, but generally you come back to a place, you go, yeah, everything's fine. Nothing was ever fine for me. And I always looked to other people, even people I didn't know. I'd read the signals, and then that would affect my behaviour.
Mm. Yeah.
But my reading of the
Naturally
signals
was
the reading of the signals, because of early trauma, was the dials were broken. They were on red hot the whole time.
Yeah.
And I think that sorts of things, I'm pretty sure, hopefully they're teaching children now, because children are very good at covering up because they want to survive like we all do.
Yeah, naturally.
So, but without the proper support and information and education, you end up with adults that's how they are.
Yeah, that's right.
And that was me.
Yeah.
So, which is hilarious when you think about it, because just as you feel, and things like Winter Moon really helped me understand that more about myself, because there was behaviour modelled by these people who were calm and centred in themselves and excited by their lives, and I go, how the hell are they doing that?
Yeah.
What's happening? You know? And I did yoga, and I had a sense of it, but I couldn't manufacture it in myself, for want of a better word. I couldn't find my way to go, oh, I can do this too.
Yeah, right.
Oh, why didn't someone tell me this?
Yeah.
It's really not
it's
that
true.
hard.
Yeah, it's true.
You know, and it's about becoming a human. A human that is okay, and you're okay, we're okay, it's all right. Okay, we all make problems, but if we as a group hold each other and go, well, I don't know what they're doing with someone going and talking to them. I can't put up with it any longer or whatever.
Yeah.
And treat each other and learn to treat yourself with that acceptance. I mean, Buddha, he was a smart dude. And it's not a set and forget. And that's the thing, every other time I've been in crisis in my life, I thought, oh great, got it now, boom, 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 out it go. But without the daily practice, and this could just be with people that have been, their electric system has been skewed from a very young age.
Yeah, usually trauma.
Yeah. I then didn't understand that I was just doing the same thing in a different
falling
way.
back into that without constant practice.
That's right.
You're not overcoming the
without the awareness.
Yes.
Yeah. And you know, there's two wings of opening your heart and the acceptance, and everything is your awareness with compassion. I didn't even know you could give yourself compassion. So I started through meditation, listening and going, oh my God, did I just say that to myself?
Yeah.
And oh my God, did I really think that about that person? So again, it's connecting. And to me, this is a thing that's happened because of lack of connection with myself. And medical science likes to separate, as we know, power struggle in the Middle Ages. Oh no, books are only for us. You people in the woods there, stop what you're doing. She's a witch. You know, and it's a cycle that humanity's gone through. But the more that we become aware of the wonder, you don't need to have heaps of money or blow up countries, or it's just like, why would you want to do that?
Yeah, the ego.
Yeah, so it's, and you can take all of those things that you see in our society, and it applies to us all. Because we all feel jealous, we all feel angry, we all have these things, and we're human, that's just what it is. But when you start paying too much attention...
And learning to control those responses, too, I think, is a big part.
See, I used to think it was control. It's not. It's not a fight. It's not control. It's a letting go.
And yes.
And a settling, going, no, it's... This is the experience.
Yeah.
That's what it is. You release all ideas. I mean, all ideas, and accept your physical aliveness just as it is.
Well, that's why meditation should really be taught at school. I think that's just start that foundation for people and become aware of that.
It's so important because some look in that classroom. They have to go home to shit. And so they need to be shown a little clink.
Yeah.
To let a little bit of sunlight in.
Yeah. And to help become aware of that at an earlier age makes it much easier later on and prevent such things.
Well, the whole thing is, if you're aware of it, it doesn't overtake you, it doesn't overwhelm you. And that's what the meditation...
You got informed about a gentleman up at the Atherton Tablelands, I believe, that has been helping you sort of treat and diagnose your MND. How did that come about?
I'd say treat and diagnose MND is probably a bit stronger word. We were up at the Tablelands last October for the Youngborough Folk Festival. I think they call it the Tablelands Folk Festival. last October, and we went to Lake Eacham to have a swim. And it was a beautiful day, floating in the water and the sun, and I was just going, if I could just live in the water, I'd be fine. Turn me into a fish, everything would be wonderful. And there was a family, I think, that Rod and Renee were talking to. There's 5 of them, and they were travelling around Australia. Beautiful family, like just one of those wonderful blend of colours and nationalities, and they just go, God, you're pretty, I love you, that sort of a thing. And they had small kids and big kids. Anyway, my partner Robbie got talking to this lady, and she was seeing a man named Elias Schindler. Now he's a German, I call him something I probably shouldn't, I won't put down on the tape. I should put it down. I call him the German butcher, which is fair but firm, but he's a Swede. And he had been, his history was started when he was very young, and learning about anatomy and nerves and everything, like really intimately, where things are joined up in the body. And she had been seeing him at Mass. She had a twitch in her face, and things were starting to go wrong. Young family, didn't you? And so she went to him intensely for 3 years, changed her diet, like very strict diet, and quite painful treatment. It's a manipulation, quite painful, and her MS has disappeared.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So I burst into tears and went, okay, he's here. And I said, well, where is this man? She said, he's here.
Wow.
I said, he was here in Malanda. So my partner Rod organised it all, and we went and saw him. Now, the reason I call him the German butcher, he says treatment's going to hurt. And he's right, it does. But I've been to it 3 times now, and with every time I go, I feel more energised, I feel clearer. And each time I go, he can kind of push harder now, and now I'm able to accept
what he does. So what does he sort of do? Is he like a manipulation of sorts?
No, it's all nerve massage. And so he'll find somewhere in me, I think it's related to things with the Chinese, the meridians and all that, and where actually the internal nerves and everything run to.
Yep.
So he will push on that or rub it really hard, or feels like really hard, and quite a lot of pain involved. But after the pain, there was a, okay. Now I'm a practical person, but I'm a practical person, and I have no idea. And that's part of the thing with this disease. I had to separate my own well-being from the disease. Yeah. I can't be tying my internal well-being to a particular outcome. So with that in mind, ask me if I'm still here in 3 years, and I might have a different opinion. But at the moment, it's making me feel better. It's not stopping the deterioration. Since I've been seeing him, my tongue has started feeling a bit funny last June, so my speech is affected. That was huge emotionally for me. Because again, I thought, oh, well, if I haven't got this, but I've got this, I'll be all right. So I'm totally vegan diet. Well, that's not true. I am, but occasionally I think I have cheese like once every 2
So
three
does he
months.
recommend a vegan diet? Is that his?
What he said to me was no red meat, no dairy, no soy, fish, little good fish,
Yeah.
and dates.
No animal DNA.
No animal dairy, so no
Other than
eggs.
fish.
No,
Other
no
than
eggs.
fish.
Yeah, no red, so no mammals, I guess.
Right. Which is interesting because some
That's what I was
of the current research in some things are suggesting some people have had success with just eating only meat diet
Yes.
for delaying its progress, but
Oh,
only in
really?
certain types. Yeah.
So I think, and again, I think it's to do with your body
Yeah,
type,
that's probably it, and the type of trauma that you've probably had.
perhaps. And I mean, I had, as I said, I have had physical trauma, and when I was a child, I did get a compression of the spine, and I went to run and chase, but I couldn't get up. And since then, I've always had a bit of trouble with my lower back and all that sort of thing. And yeah, so for my practical mind, on the scale of things, I give it a go. Give it a go.
Yep.
As well as everything else. But I've kind of got to be realistic as well. In the sense that if I've been given this time to prepare for my death, well, I certainly want to be able to do that with an open heart. And what my body is doing is it's out of my control, which is so bizarre.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, you think you're in control, but I mean, just every day, oh, no, can't do that. So being a newly disabled person, I feel for everyone who has to go and live as a disabled person.
Yeah.
It's, it's little tiny things like a lift this big on the building that if you got your chair that you put in the back of your car or whatever, it's not going to do it. It's like in shops, you can't get past the displays, except for dress shops. Now they're smart girls. All of theirs are on wheels so they can push all the display stuff. Yeah, so good design is critical, not just for people who can get about A to B fast, but all the other people and mothers with strollers. I know so many mothers with strollers just because of a poor design in the community. It's like, yeah, you can't go near that curb. Go over that one, that's much better. So it's those sorts of things that, don't get me started on disabled toilets. Oh my God.
Oh, Jesus.
Really?
Oh.
Well, because we travel, I see use a lot of different facilities.
Yeah. And you stay at a lot of national parks and things and camping.
Well, national parks are okay. They've got room.
Okay.
They've got, it's pretty good. We were just at Big Crystal Creek, and the only my complaint would be the footing of the building is a bit narrow. You can't fit. The path is too narrow for
the wheelchair.
A wheelchair, or a stroller. But inside was great, but just the doors are so damned heavy. On the coastal strips in Queensland and elsewhere, and you've got the disabled toilet in shopping centres. The doors must weigh, 50 kilos, and they're on one of all those things. You're in a wheelchair. How the hell are you supposed to hold the door open? Get your chair going, push it in, not be stuck, and then go around. And then they design them big, but in parts they're too big. You can't, the toilet's there and the sink's way over there and the valve stops here. It's like, why? And the toilet flushes, when you can't use your hands properly, everyone needs a nice big soft button. Nice big soft button for everyone. Can elbow, they can hit it, they can get their walking stick and poke it, something. And taps.
A lot of taps would be difficult, wouldn't they?
Those push down ones, and it's like, I'm not as strong as to turn the freaking thing on.
Yeah, right.
Those ones with the hospital ones.
They're good, yeah.
They're good. Yeah, so all those kinds of things have been, for a start, they were quite interesting. As in, wow, why'd they do it like that? This sucks, and why hasn't someone thought of that? But as things are deteriorating, now it's a matter of, how am I going to take myself to the toilet at home?
Yeah.
Or, shivers, I can't get into the wherever. I can't get in the yard today. And that's what things like the NDIS have come and put ramps and do that.
Are amazing, yeah.
Yeah, amazing. So I forgot where I was going with that.
Yeah, but anyway, that's good to know about the toilets anyway.
So many things.
It sounds like they should have better protocols for the disabled toilets, really.
Yeah.
So, in sort of, what's your future outlook? Are you going to keep trying to go to festivals as long as you can, and just keep just go with daily, just work with it daily? I guess is that your.
Well, I love all these things when we're talking about doing this. And I was just thinking, one day at a time, all the cliches, always look on the bright side of life. Well, yeah, but it's not achievable. We've got to be realistic about how these things affect people. So don't beat yourself up for not being upbeat all the time.
Of course, you're going to have to face the pain and the realisation.
Very complex set of circumstances. And but daily practice on all these sorts of things are really important, and not just when you've had the bone pointed at you, because that's basically how it felt to me. But in everyday life, to check in and go, well, how am I actually doing? Not how are they doing? And that's taken care of. And, yep, that's done. Well, what's happening here? And what do I need to let go of or process or... so I don't know. I mean, I'm glad that the Assisted Dying Act has now come in Queensland.
Yes, that's
coming
great progress.
Early next year.
Brilliant progress, really.
Yeah, and so maybe I'll have enough guts to have a big party, big music party, and take it and say goodbye to everyone I love.
Maybe do that. It's a challenging one, and with the death, the choice of dying, it's shown in studies though that by having a choice, it actually keeps people holding on longer.
Sure. Because if worse comes to worse,
you have that option.
I've got that as a backstop. But I don't know.
It's a long way. It's a long way away.
It feels like it. It feels like it is. And I guess the most I'm hoping to achieve is to just keep going as long as I can, as well as I can. And do the work to go, okay, this is my life. Not one I thought I'd have, not one they thought I should have, not one that looks, inspirational. Just, this is my life. And and dealing with not being awake for so long of it.
Yeah.
Not being present.
Many people never experience that in their life. So
Well, everyone should.
Should, that's
and
right.
We should ensure they do.
That's right. And I think more people, one of my favourite meditations in Buddhism is the meditation on death. That you could die tomorrow in a car accident.
Yeah.
You could come down with a serious illness and die in 2 weeks from cancer.
That's right.
And meditating on that and becoming engaged in that awareness can help soften the blow.
Yes.
If you get caught in that situation, and it helps you be more in the present because of that awareness, I think, and that's one of my more.
Yeah, and it's an impermanence and being all right with it. We are all right with it. I love the seasons. I love when I love when it snows. I love when the sun comes out. I like that thing, and that's impermanent.
Yeah.
I love watching a bird going across the sky. That's impermanent.
Yeah.
The ripples in the water.
Yeah, the dead animal on the side of the road, or
dead animal.
It's part of the whole
and
cycle.
it's that being not only just okay with it, but feeling, just say safe, but feeling, it's not that, feeling expansive and engaged, and being able to, in spite of it, as there's a quote that says, I'm so sad, but it's also beautiful. Something like that, like you could say, what we perceive as duality, there is no such thing. There's no good, there's no bad.
Yeah.
There's no right, there's no wrong, there's
no.
It's just is, and if you can breathe into that in such a way, and that's mine to stay there. Whether I'm dead or alive, it doesn't really matter. To stay there and just have that embodied presence and know that, and know myself to flow, that, okay, and laugh when I can't work something. I'm not there yet.
Yeah. So you also had a cycloban experience, is that?
Oh, psilocybin.
Psilocybin experience.
And that's
how was that experience for you?
Interestingly, it's coming up. They're looking at it again in Parliament. I just did something about it yesterday.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's been used a long time ago to help study depression and whatever. I think it was in the 50s, and then the drug, what do they call it?
War on drugs.
Yeah, the war on drugs made a lot of things illegal or constricted, and that's, in my opinion, that's fine, but they stopped all the scientific research around using them, and they've done great things with people, end of life, depression, post-traumatic stress disorder, amongst these poor men that we send to kill each other so people can get richer. And they work. So I have experimented when I was younger recreationally. So I kind of knew
what to expect.
I don't know how it would have gone without that. But you can also microdose, which is you don't actually feel any of the hallucinatory effects, but it allows you to.
Some people suggest a better sense of well-being.
It's more than that. It allows you to come out of something that's holding you tight, and being able then to accept it and go, okay, I just experienced fear around that. It's good for insight work. It's also good for the allowing you to communicate with yourself and feel, oh, that's a different way of looking, different perspective. Yeah.
You do that.
So that's what I've found. And it has helped me in certain times through this. I'm also taking medical marijuana as a CBD, which
CBD
has been
oil.
shown CBD oil to it helps MS people with the coating on the nerves.
Yeah. Oh wow.
So I started that very early in the piece, and I have THC drops, which help with the overriding despair and anxiety that happens in the morning. So a combination of that with the meditation, but the psilocybin takes you to another strength level. It gives you more perspective on what's actually happening. It makes you feel, I can understand that this is a stress response. Now, how am I going to do this? Oh, that's all, I just relax into it. It allows you a shortcut. You can't do the same with the meditation, but it helps with the underlying, when you're in those moments that you're not actually aware that's happening. It helps you, like any other drug, but the good thing about it is it's not addictive, like so many antidepressant things are. You don't have to come off it. It doesn't affect your nerves. It doesn't affect,
So you've had a really positive experience.
Yeah.
You would say overall, definitely.
Yeah, and it's not something I do all the time at all. I've done it once, and I've microdosed probably in the last 6 months, probably maybe 10 times, maybe 12. Not many. Oh, maybe a bit more actually.
But
3 or 4. Yeah, it's not
but minimal, really. Yeah.
Minimal. Yeah. And that was the other thing. I want kind of minimal, because I don't want to depend on a drug to do what I need to do.
It's a stepping stone to help you awaken that awareness, and then you can work with that.
Yeah, it's kind of like learning how to run a boat when no one's giving you an instruction book. You find yourself in the middle of the ocean that you didn't know was even there, and you try and find your way back to shore. But you're not sure which way to go, so yeah, it's like that. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for that.
You're very welcome.
And well, best of luck in your progress, and hopefully we see you in another couple of years, or see how you're progressing.
Black Mountain
Festival, another festival lined up.
Festival, and that's in August.
And that's up at Cooktown, the Black Mountain.
And Younger Bar in October again.
Awesome. It's great that you're staying active and keeping yourself moving, I guess, as part of keeping...
Well, it's more my entourage and my accoutrements. So, walking sticks to wheelchair to gitmobile, to my foot lifter uppers.
Yep.
And then a bunch of people that, especially Miss Renee, the one, what do we call her? Warrior
Woman.
Yeah. And all my festival family. I mean, I was sitting there was wheelchairs coming at me, there was cushions to sit on, there was live music in my tent.
Chris at Windermere driving around on the four-wheel drive bike through the mud, so you didn't have to walk through the mud.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I said to Dave Flower when they did a concert at the camp, not last winter moon, I think it was the winter moon before, when they all came down, and we had like 40 people in camp. And I said to Barley Chase came down, and Sean came down. I said to Dave Flower, man, I should have started dying years ago.
Get all the special treatment.
Special treatment. Yeah, but and that's the thing with this is, as we're finding out, there's sort of more assistance, and it's just like,
yeah, that
I was hoping it would,
yeah, you could just stay sort of independent to a certain degree. But
yeah, so I don't know how I'm going to go if they have to hoist me.
That's the hardest thing to face, isn't it? That loss of your limbs and that, you know, the reliance on other people's and just letting go.
Yeah, asking for help, I'm really good at that.
Especially when you're a really strong, independent woman most of your life and defiant of that. And
that's it. Yeah. Yeah, so it's been a big lot to trip over. Yeah. So I'm not sure where I am. I think I'm just on the ground shaking my head going, what the?
Yes,
yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
Thank you. And yes, next time.
Next time. Thanks, John.
Thank you.
I'd just like to really thank Leonie and Gerald, our dear friends, who, not uncoincidentally, we met at a music festival. Rod and I have been enjoying music for so long, like so many other people, and we met really true, heartfelt friends. And we're actually filming this in their beautiful house at where are we? Stuart Harbour.
Overlooking the Whitsunday.
Overlooking the Whitsundays. And they have welcomed us into their home for many, many years, and especially now that we're travelling north and south so often. This is our second home, and I can't thank them enough. Except they need a lift.
4 levels. And the pool.
Oh dear. Well, as usual, it's been fun.
It has been fun.
It's an amazing place. And you're Linda's carer. How did it lead into you becoming her carer?
She's my best friend, and this kind of just happened. Just evolved and eventuated, and I wasn't gonna let her drop. So that's the question.
Yeah, it does. So you were friends first,
Yep.
and then as she's developed, found out she's had motor neuron disease,
Yep.
you've become the carer, yeah?
Yep.
How it works?
One of on the road travelling. Yes. How it first happened was going to Wintermoon or Springfest last year, and I was just meant to help out for a couple of days. Ended up here and realised that it was a bigger task to travel on the road for Rod, so they kind of asked me to join them for the rest of the trip. So it's kind of evolved from there.
Into a full-time carers?
While we're on the road, yeah.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
So it must be difficult. Being a friend, how does it go from being a friend into being a carer? Is that a difficult thing to...
No, it's not a difficult thing. It's challenging. There's moments where it's challenging, but I'm not going to leave my friend drop.
You're watching her sort of progress along on this journey of her experience with motor neuron disease.
Yep.
How's that? How do you deal with that? With your, that attachment to watching her,
That's a good question. Knowing when to hold space, when to catch her when she falls, knowing when to give her the space when she's gone through the big emotions that come up. Trusting the process. Been trying to think how to say that it has to leaning into love, leaning into a greater understanding of relationship. When to step in, when to step back, when to hold that space. Yeah, when to be there for the shoulder to cry on, when to slap her around when it's time to get up and get moving. Yeah.
Right. So what's the carer's role fully involve? It's a whole thing, isn't it? It's helping her physically and mentally.
Helping, yeah, absolutely. Helping her in basic showering, all that sort of stuff. Cooking for her, which is awesome. Now she's vegan, so it's easy.
And you're a vegan yourself, so
yeah,
it works
which
well.
is better. Yeah.
But no, you actually do eat some fish though. So fish is on the.
Linda has fish. Yeah, absolutely.
Fish is on the diet.
Yeah.
Yeah, as I mentioned previously, I actually made a mistake when I was talking to Linda. I said that a lot of people have a meat diet that have shown slow prognosis, but it's actually a bad biome. So people who have a bad diet have shown to actually slow ALS, which is kind of counterintuitive, but you wouldn't want to put your body through that process without knowing, really. So you've gone the full vegan. That was recommended by her
Elias. Yes.
Up in Tablands, the butcher.
Yes. Linda calls him the German butcher.
The German butcher. So that was his recommendation.
Yes.
Very good. And it seems. Do you think it helps? You think that?
The diet. I think all the therapies that she does. I think the mindfulness, the meditation, the swimming, regular massaging. Definitely his treatments. Absolutely. Diet as well, yeah, and more. It's the work. I think that we all will eventually pass over, and it's that she has time to prepare and heal for that Passover, which is a gift. And that's my role, is helping her to support her on that journey. And that's the greatest honour. It's the greatest honour.
And a tough one.
It's tough. It's tough.
Yeah, it's an emotional journey itself, isn't it, for you?
Yeah, but it's the conversation we have around the things you can't see, feel, and touch, the spiritual and emotional side of things. Her ability to want to embrace and heal that as a friend for many years. Watching her now finally embark on that journey and open her heart is amazing. We can have those conversations now.
Gentleman up there found that he noticed that she had a spinal injury when she was younger, and this injury was in the lower back, and he was suggesting this led on to her.
It could pose any trauma to the spine.
Trauma to the spine.
So the spine is your central nervous system.
Yeah,
It feeds
that's right.
every single emotion, every single part of your body.
And
So,
do you think that may have led on to her difficulties with her emotional, like she was saying, being in her now and being more present in herself?
Yep.
Do you think the injury may have led on to that? What came first, the injury or the emotional state?
Good question. What comes first, the injury or the emotion? Do you believe in karma and past life?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Do we take our stuff from our past life? Do we make a contract before we're born? I mean, within our family, you know, if you look at I don't know the question. I don't know the answer to that question.
Yeah, it's a deep question, isn't
it's
it?
where your philosophy is, and I think if you're presented with a disease that's you know you're going to pass over with, I think you'll begin to ask all those really deep and important questions.
Yeah, it's true that. And there is a lot of research sort of suggesting that the central nervous system, this overactive immune system,
Yep.
so the sting system they're suggesting,
Yep.
is induces this, you know, Parkinson's disease, as Linda mentioned, Parkinson's, ALS, and even some dementia.
Autoimmune conditions.
Yep.
Yep.
So it's this
Multiple
feedback.
sclerosis.
So they're making big progress there apparently to this protein TDP43, I think it is.
Yeah.
And it's the sting system. Your immune system is overstimulated essentially, and it seems that they will be able to find markers. Well, they can now, but not easily. Find markers that show that you're leading on to, you know, these conditions that can manifest. So there is good progress with that for sure. And it's interesting that this doctor that you've found
Yep.
is actually one of the few people that are actually have that approach to healing.
To the function of the body. Yeah.
Yeah. And you mentioned that you do a massage with Linda before.
Yep.
She had the condition, and you noticed that she had
Something going on.
Yeah. What what made you feel something was going on?
As Linda has spoken with you about that continual disconnection from her emotions and disconnection from life essentially because of trauma. She cut off, and that was for so many different reasons on an emotional level when life hit. That was years ago. And then a couple of years ago, before she was diagnosed, just on the massage sense, just, you can call it chi, mana, energy. The body just wasn't talking, wasn't moving. There was no energy flowing around the body.
Yeah, right.
So that was just an inner sense, as well as a friend trying to want to slap her and say, "We got, you got to come back in your heart."
Yeah.
And that's what she says now. I'm coming home inside myself again, which is we all are, you know. And her on this journey, I think, is enabling all of us, me, to come back to home, and everyone she touches, inspiring and us to come home.
Yeah, awesome. So yeah, I've watched you do your work, and it's pretty impressive. Like, it's a big role you take on, and you do it very well. Leading into the future, is that you plan to go through the full journey with Linda?
Yes. Yeah.
Until and at the very difficult times that could manifest, but hopefully the prognosis is slow. It keeps going fairly slowly.
Yeah.
With an average lifespan of what, 2 years they give.
She's at 2 years now.
2 years now, so she's doing very well. That's great to see. Well, is there anything you'd like to say about your experience?
About my experience. I was loved. It's an inspiring role. It's an inspiring role. And it's not like caring. I think being the role of a carer is essentially overwhelming, moments of being very overwhelmed, but also moments of the honour of caring for someone that's cared for you. That is the greatest honour ever, and the greatest teaching.
Yes. The teacher becomes a student, and the student becomes a teacher.
We don't leave our friends behind. Just, leave your friends
big things as far as with it, isn't it? That's, walking through with them, it was a journey, it was a shared journey in the end, and the lessons that people use it, for sure. I don't think we're right for people. And best of luck on your journey, really. What can I say? Yeah, it's a tough one. I admire your dedication to your job, your role as helping.
There's always a way to do what you want. You just gotta find it.